You like the juice, eh?
Yeah, you know.
The juice is good, eh?
Yeah.
Dímelo, Bo, Dominican York. What's going on, mi gente? What the is going on? ¿Cómo están ustedes? Again, blessed. We stay blessed, stay fresh, stay smelling great. That's what we do. That's what we do. I had an amazing wearing experience with Thomas Kosmala yesterday, and the fragrance was Wild Stride. It is one of the last Kosmalas that I added to my wardrobe or collection, however you like to call it. That and Celle de la Terre, which is number 7, were the last two. And I'm not looking to add any more right now. I will maybe sample a few, but I'm good on Kosmala for right now. Maybe for the next couple years. Yeah, definitely for the next couple years. But let's take a look at Wild Stride. This is an amazing wearing experience for me personally, guys. I like the Kosmala captives, whatever they use to latch onto my skin, allow it to still be eminent and somewhat leaving a slight scent trail even 12 plus hours later. Because this morning when I walked my dog 12 plus hours later, as my chest heated up, because I spray the chest and my arms, I was getting my Wild Stride in the air. It was hitting my nostrils. And of course, I spray under my chest, so of course it's going to emanate this way. So yeah, it's easy. And I tend to wear fragrances for me, but I did about 5 sprays to each arm yesterday, and then about 5 or 6 sprays to my chest. And for the first 3 hours, it could not die down, to the point where I actually applied fragrance over the area that I sprayed, and maybe that helped, maybe that hurt, I'm not sure. But I kind of don't even want to spray it right now. I actually am wearing a different scent of the day, or scent of the morning. I went with Burnt Hinoki from Scents of Wood. It's one that's getting discontinued, they said. And so if you guys don't have it, you still have an opportunity, if I'm not mistaken, if they're not sold out, to grab your Burnt Hinoki. Again, it's a niche fragrance. It's not for everybody. But it's good. It's good. You gotta like dry, woody, earthy facets in order to enjoy Burnt Hinoki. But I do, as much as I like the sweet, gooey, designer, and just, you know, the sweet stuff. I like the sweet, I like the dry, I like the woody, I like the flowery. I think part of that is growing up in the 80s. You know, I was born in 75, but growing up in the 80s in New York City, you smelled everything from the pissy staircase, elevators, to the ritzy, swanky environments that you'd go into that you'd be like, wow, this smells like money in here. It smells like, you know what I mean? To just the normal everyday stuff. I'm pretty sure I smelled a lot of the regular Avon stuff, you know what I mean, that it just was prevalent on everybody. I smelled the Fahrenheits, I smelled the Chorus from YSL, I wore it. But I feel like my nose is a very forgiving nose. You know what I mean? Just is what it is. But anyway, you can still find this, and you can definitely find it on Joma Shop, tester version, for about $80, maybe $70, 70, $80. If you want the full box presentation, it is a little bit more. It's about $90, $80 to $90. But then again, if you go retail, if you go into your Dillard's and buy it, you're going to spend probably, I think, like $180, somewhere in that $200 range. But man, so good. It's like a Aventus with a much smokier facet, right? It's like a Aventus with a much smokier facet. Gets a little bit into that Hachivat, you know, and it definitely has that Hachiba performance. And it's got the oak moss in it. But I don't remember that Hachiba necessarily has a smoky note at the base. It's more of an earthy, woody note from what I remember. And then Wild Stride brings back that smoky. They add a smoke note in there that really, I think, from what I've heard people describe the OG Aventus and it having a smoky effect. Now, I find that Hachiba's pineapple tends to dissipate the longer you wear it, where Wild Stride was still giving me that pineapple accord this morning, 12 hours later. I was on my walk, still getting that pineapple-y oak moss DNA. Pineapple, oak moss, the smokiness wasn't as apparent, but that sweeter, fruity pineapple side was still present, along with that oak mossy, earthy facet. So, an amazing wearing experience. I wish I had a decant kit. I would have sent out a decant to one of the boys on the Scent Bubbles Discord. If you haven't joined, you need to go check out the Scent Bubble. Go check out his Discord. A lot of fragrance talk in there. I'm not always in there, but I am part of the community there. Now, one of the first Aventus DNA frags that I had was actually Club de Nuit Intense Man, and this is the EDP. The first time I sprayed, and this is before I had Aventus, the first time I sprayed this, it really felt great and somewhat overpowering. I felt like I sprayed too much. Now, remind you, this is 2024, and I was fresh into my journey into the fragrance community, right? Up until that point, I didn't want to spend more than 25 bucks on a bottle unless it was like my birthday and a few other times that I've spent 100 or 150 bucks. This really was one of my first frags. And I have a video early on when I'm switching from sneakers to fragrance content, and I was doing a little bit of both still. Club de Nuit Intense Man was one of my starter frags. And I made a video saying that this is like a starter frag kit. Really good still, guys. Yes, it is more synthetic than, or it smells more synthetic than Kosmala. But Kosmala, I'm pretty sure, is not all natural materials as well. If I'm not mistaken, some of his stuff is all you know, raw materials from other than nature, or, you know, I don't know. I've got to get into that, because just because you say something is not natural doesn't mean it doesn't come from nature. It just might be processed and made into a material, right? Obviously everything comes from somewhere, but I don't know. I've got to get into that, possibly. I don't know that I need to answer that question, but maybe I get into it to kind of dispel some rumors and things that we just take for granted in the community, that, you know, oh, this smells chemical and the other one smells natural. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily go by that way. It doesn't. Dollar amount that you spend on a fragrance doesn't determine whether it's chemical or not. Now, I would imagine that raw materials, that there are some more expensive raw materials for sure, and hopefully, if you're paying a price, a premium on something, there's something to the raw materials that are added to that. But I would still recommend Club de Nuit Intense Man. I don't have anything else, and I haven't tried anything else but the EDP. Now, I do have Peugeot. Peugeot is more Absolute Aventus, from my understanding, which I haven't sampled yet. But that adds a sweeter, ambery facet to it. And I'm not really spraying any of these today because I'm just doing a quick talk about what I wore yesterday and some of the Aventus style DNAs that I have in my collection. Last one I'll bring to the table, which I've only got one real wearing in, but I feel like it deserves more, is Versace Eros Energy. This is really good, guys. If you are, again, into that citrusy, pineapple-y, super refreshing DNA, this is one of those that is definitely worth sampling. I was waiting for the prices to come down, and you can find this, you know, depending on what size you're looking for, in that $50, $60 range, maybe in that $60, $70 range for a 3.4. But wow, this is really good too, guys. And this is more designer-like, you know, more like Club de Nuit Intense Man, less like Hot Chivat and Wild Stride. But Wild Stride definitely has some similarities to this as well. Don't disregard Versace Aero's energy. And I know Scent Bubble's putting out a video on the, you know, the pineapple hierarchy. So that's why I ended up wearing Wild Stride yesterday, and not stepping on his toes, but you know, I wanted to kind of share just the few frags that I have that are in that pineapple Aventus DNA profile. But again, yesterday's scent of the day, and one that I would highly recommend if you are an Aventus aficionado, is Wild Stride. And Thomas Kosmala does not get a lot of love in the fragrance community from what I see. I rarely see Thomas Kosmala come across the feed unless it's talking about Apres L'Amour number 4, or one of those, one of the Apres L'Amour flankers, or the number 4 flankers, right? He's got like 3 or 4 of them, but the only one I have is the OG. And I do want to try the, what do you call that, the elixir version, which is supposed to be a little bit more almondy, right? It's supposed to have a little bit more almond facet. Who knows? But man, guys, this thing, oh, such a rich profile. And you know what? It kind of reminds me of, like, I was going to say from Zerjov, not Zefido, but Renaissance. I don't really ever consider Renaissance in that Aventus DNA, but it does have this fresh lemon citrus opening that I do find is similar to Wild Stride. I don't think it has pineapple at all. I don't smell pineapple. Aggressive atomizer. That is good. That is good. But just to show you guys, burnt hinoki. These do not have amazing atomizers. That ain't bad. I like to do that. It gets it on my forearm, and then it gets a little bit on my shirt or sweater. And then the fragrance, because I move my arms a lot, I'm constantly washing dishes, rolling my sleeves up and doing things like that. It really helps the fragrance kind of continue to project and create that bubble around myself. But wow, super dry. Does remind me of something else. This is my first official wearing. Oh, so good though. Again, you gotta like dry profiles that are woody. Burnt hinoki, if you guys can see that. Stunning. Not for everybody. Not a safe blind buy. But so good. So good. About to make a YouTube short about me spraying that, and I'll pick some music to go along with it. But again, yesterday's scent of the day was Wild Stride, and it's to me a tremendous frag. A Kosmala I didn't think I would add to the wardrobe, but I added it a little less than a year ago, and it's definitely one I enjoy wearing. Anyway, you guys have a blessed day. Que Dios me lo bendiga. I'll talk to you soon because I got another video coming. Peace.